This is the Sons of Montezuma podcast, a Kiss the Rings episode. Welcome, everybody. The Aztecs take 2 out of 3 in Las Vegas at the Players Era Festival. And we're going to talk about it all next. See you guys.
Davis has the answer. Blocked with 2. Tough shot. And he hit it. Magoon block. Brian Dutcher's group responds from the home loss to Gonzaga.
Screen.
Gets in.
Get downhill once again.
Nick Boyd. To Gorville.
Ooh, what a dime.
Freshman to freshman for the throwdown.
Answers with a shot of his own.
Boyd again. Oh, he's feeling it now. Roberts. And it's Guath with the block.
Shot.
It's a must-get opportunity right now. Coleman Jones. Okay! Off the glass! Bird trying to get to that left hand. Does so. Bird drives. Oh! What a bucket! Miles Bird! Boyd drives. Boyd lays it in! Cryer steps back, 3-point range. No fouls coming. Now Cryer puts it up for the tie. Missed it. Clock ticks. It's over. Guath secures the board, and San Diego State secures their biggest win of the season. The Aztecs come roaring back to tie it, force overtime, and win it in overtime 73-70.
Said it best, a big-time win for this young team.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast. It's a Kiss the Rings episode. Of course, you guys know what it is. Anytime we come off a big victory, man, everybody's feeling good. Already in the chat, everybody's excited, saying they told us so, saying victorious, bring back the everybody's fired up. Thank you guys for making this you guys listen or watch. Of course, you can find us, all our episodes, sonsofmontezuma.com, articles, our NIL shop, all that good stuff. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button first and foremost. Won't cost you $1. And we really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Guys, well, where do we begin? You cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He is, he's rolling deep in the show, whether in San Diego or Las Vegas. It is. I think you love that a little too much, dude. You got to pull that.
I do. I absolutely love it when they play that. But man, what a week in Vegas, man. That was just an amazing experience. If you told me we went 2-1 with victories over Creighton and Houston, grinning from ear to ear, and I'm just so proud of how they played, and especially that game against Houston. It's one of the best games I've ever seen live.
Oh, I bet. Oh, man. Well, for those of you guys who didn't know, Fiend was in Las Vegas for the Players Era Festival. And I was there too. I was there with him. for the first 2 games, right before the Thanksgiving holiday. And so let's talk about it because the Players Era Festival, first year, right? Inaugural tournament, NIL tournament. So kind of looking at the calendar, we knew this was going to be a big one. Once the news dropped that this was going to happen and that San Diego State was in the mix, in the groupings of teams. I mean, there's some big time teams out there, Fiend. You're talking about Alabama, you're talking about Creighton, obviously Oregon, Texas A&M, obviously
Rutgers,
Houston.
Notre Dame. Yeah, it's a stacked.
It was exciting.
It was a stacked event, and
Yeah.
really exciting. I mean, I think it would have been better to have it 3 days in a row. It would have been nice. It had been like maybe one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or doing that just the way that they did it, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the break Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. It was a little disappointing because a lot of the Aztec fans, well, a lot of the fans in general, had left and gone back for Thanksgiving. I stayed. There were a few others that stayed, but we still outnumbered the fan bases that were there. But it would have been, I think, a better setup, and maybe they'll adjust that in the future. But they're competing a lot against a lot of other MTEs too, like Maui Invitational and some of these other big ones. So that might have had something to do with the scheduling. But very fun event.
Well, I had a blast. And truth be told, I know I'm seeing you guys, T-Mac. I gotta apologize for some of you other guys as well in the chat. Like, I wasn't really the most sociable person this past week at the Players Era Festival, and that's not anything to do with the tournament. I thought the tournament was amazing. I thought the MGM Grand was a perfect spot to have it. And then if you're staying there or nearby, like you were, Fiend, it's like you just literally come down to the casino, find your way to the arena. It was perfect. I was hoping to ask JD Wicker. I seen him in the arena. I didn't get a chance to ask him, like, hey, do you think the new Pac-12 is going to have their conference tournament there at the MGM? I'm sure that's in the running, and having this there probably helped get a feel for the gym and all that stuff. Very, very big boxing gym. But my apologies. And to everybody, like, I've been fighting this cold/flu for the last 2 weeks. My first trip to Las Vegas for the football game came back and it just knocked me out. I've been down for the count for the last 2 weeks. Still made the trip back to Vegas, and it just wasn't. I wasn't myself. I think you could vouch for it, Fiend. I wasn't
definitely. Yeah, no, glad to have you back, man. Glad that you're feeling better. I held it down for the Sons of Monty crew there. So
I got all the videos and photos and stuff, and it was a great time though. But let's talk about this first game, okay? Because Aztecs took 2 out of 3, and we'll get to the chat in just a second. 2 out of 3, the Aztecs. Number 1 game, well, it was a familiar foe that we all know, and boy, they probably hate us so much right now. Creighton, we're talking about the Creighton Blue Jays. They were up in the ring against the Aztecs, and boy, the Aztecs just shut them down. I don't care if Ashworth was playing or not. He ended up playing the very next day. I know Fiend was fraternizing, taking photos, selfies with all these Creighton players and some of their greats, right?
Yeah, I mean, so I did see Ashworth, and that's what really surprised me was the night before. He wasn't in a boot. He wasn't limping or anything. And I was like, man, is he going to play? And then he wound up not playing, but then playing the next game, which just proves that he wanted nothing to do with the Aztecs. He's faced that defense so many times at Utah State. He was like, nah, coach, you know what? I'll sit this one out. So that was, but he's a really, really nice guy. And so, it was fun getting to talk to him, and, Mike's a big fan of him. So getting to tease Mike and a little bit with that has been a lot of fun. And then seeing Kyle Korver there, I was a big Bulls fan growing up, and he, was on that great team with Rose, with D Rose, when they, probably should have won the NBA title. And he blew out his knee, in the playoffs. And Korver told me that he actually just did a documentary about it, and so it'll be out soon. So I'm really looking forward to it. But it's so weird seeing him because he just does not look like an NBA player. He looks like such a stoner.
We were walking
But
in the
no,
concourse for sure, man. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? That's Corver.
well, the reason why I noticed him is he was on the Oblivious can. They had that can where people are like on their phones, they're not paying attention, and they just focused in on him. I was like, "Is that Kyle Korver?" I was looking around the arena. I'm like, "Oh, there he is," And then I, when he was walking up the stairs, and that's when I approached him. And really nice guy. I mean, everyone that I met there was just like really pretty friendly, and good
Good
vibes.
fans. Good
Yeah,
fans. Creighton, they're good fans. They hate us.
yeah.
I would hate them if I were them. I mean, you know.
We were all wearing our Final Four jerseys and like our hats, trolling their fan base. It was great.
71 to 53, dude. It was a 4-point game at the half, and then second half, Aztecs turned it on. I think the guy who really stood out for me in that game the most was BJ Davis, right?
Yeah.
18 points, 9 rebounds. I know we wrote a recap article about it, and this feels like so long ago already, right? But that was the first ranked victory that we got over Creighton. So you can't gloss over it. I mean, it really was a big win. No Ashworth or not. The team went out there, balled out, just dominated in every way in that second half. But BJ Davis stuck out to me. Miles Bird had a great game as well. But those 9 rebounds from BJ, man, that was just a really, really good effort in that game. And then the next game, Oregon, right? Oregon. I didn't know what to expect with Oregon. I knew in your preview you said they were big, they were athletic, they were all of that in that game. Boy, who's that big boy in the middle?
Nate Biddle.
Nate
Yeah.
Biddle. Just a big old, you talk about a big old, I don't want to call him big country, but he kind of reminded me of like a Bill Walton, kind of a vibe out there.
Yeah.
But he was pretty. The numbers don't say he was dominant, but he had a really good game. I feel those 9 boards, and he was just a presence.
He's fantastic, and it is funny because when he was at the free throw line, he has a little bald spot on his head, and so I was with Bills in Kirkwood, Alex Kirkwood, and we're sitting there heckling him, and we're yelling Rogaine, Rogaine. Then he makes the free throw. Next free throw, we go, you are balding, and then his dad. I didn't know it was his dad, came up to us after the game, after they won. He goes, takes off his hat and he's bald. He goes, we'll keep the ball, guy. We'll keep the ball.
Emotional, damn it.
He was great, man. His dad's fantastic, man. Nice guy. I actually joined him for the Alabama game because they're jealous. They don't have any fans that are traveling because they're all at the football, right? They're ranked number 1 in the country.
Right.
He was, they had no fans there. So I wanted to, they beat us. I want them to do well. So I cheered them on. And so I sat right behind his dad and, we cheered on them against Alabama. So that was pretty cool. It's good to meet his family and nice people, good people.
Yeah, that Oregon game, it was tough.
Yeah.
How do you say? Bamba? Is it Bamba?
Yeah, he went off. Yeah.
Man, he's a player.
He's the MVP of the tournament. And I mean, the one thing that Oregon, and I think I wrote about this in the preview, is like they were not hitting 3-point shots coming into the tournament. And
then they hit every 3-point shot against
everything, man. They shot 45% against us, So when they're hitting their threes like that, they're tough to beat because they do such a great job. That's the one thing I noticed about them when they played Texas A&M when I was scouting them for our game. I'm like, man, these guys really move the ball well. They swing the ball. And not only are they big and athletic, but they really play well as a team. And so I came away really, really impressed with Oregon. I actually put a future on them. I mean, not a lot, but I did put a future on them in Vegas because I think they really are a complete team, especially with Biddle in the middle. 7-footer, that dude, he's a load to deal with,
Biddle in the middle. Well, the Aztecs, BJ Davis had 18 points again for his second game in a row to get 18 points. Boyd had 15, Bird had 10. It was just one of those games where, and I want to say this correctly, because the Biddle wasn't like scoring a ton, but just his presence, and I think what we were saying, the physicality, right? He kind of changes that game. And I got a chance to talk with Jerry Coleman Jones' father after the game.
Mm-hmm.
We're leaving the arena area, going to
Yeah.
the casino area or whatnot. And I was so glad he kind of pulled me aside. I didn't know who he was, and he introduced himself. I thought that was super cool. So shout out to him, man. It was really nice. And we just got to chop it up a little bit. And he says, the bigs on our team, the Aztecs, the bigs, they got a couple things they gotta get together, right? They gotta get familiar with a couple different things through the offense, the flow, how to move, how to operate, how to navigate, all that good stuff. Now, I know you didn't like the 3 games in a row, Fiend. 2 games, then they had a couple days off, got to go celebrate Thanksgiving. From everything I understand, San Diego State actually went back to San Diego, enjoyed Thanksgiving, right? Got to practice. Coach Dutcher in his presser today was talking, they got to practice in their own gym, sleep in your own bed, man. Just, enjoy the holiday. And then they came back out to Vegas, right? So I was really glad to talk with JCJ's dad and him kind of just being real, just being transparent and saying, hey, the bigs, they got a little work they cut out for him. Sure enough, man. Okay. Houston game. JCJ, Farrell, Compton, Magoon, the bigs, man, let me tell you. I know it's a different matchup, different strategies, all that good stuff, but boy, the bigs came to play. They came into that boxing gym, and they came in with a mentality. I hope those days apart, going back home to San Diego, they brushed up on some things. And if this is what we have to look forward to from that performance, man, you got to feel really good. And I think all Aztec Nation is feeling really good. What do you think, Fiend? Houston.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. We're getting contributions all through the tournament, mostly from our guards, and mostly pretty much all year from our guards. Guath has been the one guy in the middle that, he's leading the nation in blocks per game. I was just I looked it up to see how he was comparing with Skylar Spencer, and Skylar Spencer's best year, his junior year, I think he had like 21 blocks his first 6 games in the year. Guas got 24. So he's second in the nation, but he's played 2 less games than the first place, the guy who's leading blocks from Arizona State. And so to do that as a freshman, as a redshirt freshman in his first 6 collegiate games, we got to give him his props, his flowers for that. Because what he's doing is like sort of historic. Yes, we had we had one of the best in Spencer and Mensa, but those guys were averaging like 2 blocks a game. He's averaging 4 right now. So if he continues that pace and to affect the game the way he was able to affect their big guys could not get points in the paint, and he was contesting and altering their shots. And that's been such a huge part of why we've been able to win these games sort of unconventionally. All the metrics, they if you look at the predictive metrics, they state like that we shouldn't be winning games, but we are. And big part of that is that block percentage and just what Guath is doing there in the middle. It's so amazing. But anyway, getting back to JCJ though, that was his coming out party, right? He had the 3 3-pointers, and then he had the one he banked in, but then it was a 2. But just how quick he gets that shot off, off the bounce. It's very hard to guard, very quick feet. He really shined, in that game. And then obviously Compton, as a freshman, he looks like one of those dudes on Houston, like he's got that body that he can't compete. We're a little thin when you look at like our guards and you look at Guath, but you look at Compton and he's got a pro body already. And it's just amazing to wonder like what he's going to be like by the end of the year. If he works on his free throw shooting, he works on his defensive awareness. He gets, starts hitting from the outside. I mean, dude, there's so much potential on this team, and we haven't even gotten Reese back.
18 points for Miles Bird in this game. He led the team, but there was so many contributors, right? You realize Bird got the first team. He was a player in the first team of the tournament, right? But then, like you said, JCJ was 16, Nick Boyd had 12, and some huge threes late in that game. BJ didn't have his third game with 18 in a row. He only had 5, but he also contributed with a huge three-point shot late in the game. Just so many different guys, moving parts, really stepping up in this game. And I gotta say, man, we were out there on the grass at the tailgate back in San Diego for the football game, right? Shout out to Sean and Andrew. Happy birthday once again for those guys. Great tailgate. And I was getting frustrated, dude. I was getting really frustrated. I don't know how this team, like you said, unconventionally, they're able to just keep fighting, never turn it off. The defensive intensity that they brought in that game is something that JCJ, he alluded to in the presser. It's like, it's just for him personally, he was saying it was just such a different intensity defensively just in this one game, right? And just being here at State has been a jump for him. But just in this one game in particular, it was like they really benefited off of those days off. They really did.
Yeah, I do. I think so, definitely. Maybe it helped them. I was speaking more from a fan perspective of having more fans there, but definitely I think for the guys be able to sleep in their own bed and enjoy a nice Thanksgiving dinner. And I saw some of the Houston Cougars like walking down from the MGM to the Miracle Mile. I was like, dude, just keep going, man. Keep going, keep walking, man. We'll tire out those legs, So but this team is Houston's so tough, dude. They're they're so physical, and we match their intensity. We match their physicality. You saw bodies flying to the floor, and they got grown dudes on that team, and we were scrapping with them, and that's what I just loved. And the thing that has happened to us, like in the Gonzaga game, in the Oregon game, is like we make a great play, and it's like we get this momentum, we get the crowd behind us, and then bang, they hit a 3. Right. And then they stopped the run, and that's how they were able to pull away. We could never get within more than 5. Right. And so that's the way it felt like in this game too. Like once they got out to that 10-point lead, we'd hit a 3, but then they'd come back and they'd hit a big 3. And those guys, Sharp and
Crier,
those are elite shooters. Those guys, Sharp's shooting over 50% from 3-point range right now. And Crier
he was 4 of 8.
Yeah,
Crier shot 13 of them. He let 13 of them fly. 13 threes, dude.
Yeah. Both those guys are elite 3-point shooters, and they were killing us from the 3-point line.
That's amazing. You got the green light. You got the green light to shoot 13 of those suckers. That's pretty wild to me.
Well, they were running plays to get him open. These flare screens and things like that to get him in the corner. But what they couldn't do was get it inside, and they weren't. They weren't getting the foul line either. We shot more foul shots than them, and I thought that the refs really bailed them out. That Sharp. He got 7 free throws off of 3 fouls. And Nick Boyd, I think it didn't look like a foul to me. But he's really good at selling it. And he got a 3-point play. And then later on in the game, they run right into BJ Davis, no foul. And then Sharp is driving to the basket. He goes up. BJ Davis blocks, he strips the ball from him. He doesn't have possession of the ball. And then Boyd is there, perfect position for the charge, even though Sharp doesn't have the ball, and they call block. It's like, dude, we're playing 2 teams right now. And that's just the way it felt. And to be able to eke out, to come back and not a young team, not fold under that pressure, and to be able to come back and get it tied, you know, at overtime, and then to take it in regulation, then take it in overtime. Wow. I mean, I was so exhausted in that game.
We could hear it. We could hear it in your voice, dude. We could hear it.
Dude, I was leading all the chants, whistling like crazy. You heard that fiend death whistle. Tom Aztec had to come up to me after the game and check on me because like I was spent. I was so exhausted. But what an exhilarating win! It one of the best wins I've ever seen live. I really wish you could have been there.
Talking about it, let's look at this craziness we got going on over here. The tailgate out there, set up the big screen to watch, and then we got Fiend getting us footage from there in the arena.
Fingers up.
Fingers up. We better believe we had our fingers up, man.
7 points on the left. Aztecs up 3.
The shot. And Magoon with the rebound.
Oh my God! Aztecs pull out the win.
Boy, we were dancing, we were celebrating, man, and I could tell in your voice you were leading the chants. I believe you.
I had no voice left, man. It was, yeah, I left it all out there, man. But man, it was.
Man.
Number 6.
Hey.
Man, we took down number 6. Amazing.
You know what that sound is? We want to thank JB for his super chat. Thank you very much, JB. What is it? 2741. We're gonna get to that in just 1 second. But before we do that, I want to bring in our good buddy. Well, you guys know him in the show. Aztec Flavor Guy. What's going on, Flavor Guy? How are you doing, man?
Hey.
Nice wig you got.
Thanks. It's the same.
Did you trim it? It looks a little.
No, I didn't.
Clean.
I don't know. Maybe it's just, rotated or whatever, because it's boring in the back,
You got to put some gel in that thing. You got to.
Man, in that video you guys are watching the Houston game, you were quiet. We won, and you were like, yeah. I was watching that at home. I was waiting to leave for the football game, and then I thought, I'm like, let's go. I was jumping up and down, and my friends can attest to that. But you guys were quiet.
My voice. I couldn't yell, man. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yell. What do you got for us, Flavor Guy? I know you had some tidbits you wanted to point out.
Yeah. Well, I always bicker back and forth with my friend Johnny because he's a Creighton fan. So we both root for each other's teams. Like I'm basically a Creighton fan when they don't play us. But so I got a little bit of bragging rights on that one. That was a great game. And BJ Davis in that game was amazing. I was kind of looking for him in Oregon and then Houston. And then sort of on the opposite side, Jared Coleman-Jones came out of nowhere for the Houston game. So, I mean, that's, basketball ups and downs. Bird was better than I expected. He was very good. And then, Aztecs leading the nation in blocks at 8, which is kind of nuts. 8 per game, I guess. That doesn't even make any sense.
The Magoon effect.
And statistic,
The Magoon effect, like Fiend said, the Magoon effect is real.
Yeah, and Magoon, I have it up right here. He's got 4 blocks per game, which is ridiculous. Which is, as Fiend said, just completely ridiculous. And then I know usually when you complain about the refs, you're on the losing side. And I know we always, we're all homers and everything, but really in the Houston game, I think all of these Thanksgiving games, it's something else, except UConn, they got what they deserve. But yeah, no, in the beginning of that game, it was like nothing is a foul. You could just kill someone on live television. They wouldn't do anything. And then something flipped in their brains and then anything was a foul. I mean, Bird was called for a foul. He didn't even touch the guy. It was like a foul for shooting a 3 and he was just standing there. And then was it Boyd that took the most obvious textbook charge I've seen in my life that was called a blocking foul? We talked about that. He was just standing there. The
guy didn't have possession. Sharp didn't have possession.
He was literally he was set for a second. I was like, you should take a video of this and then show refs when they say what's a charge, you can show them this. I mean, I don't know. The announcers were saying something like they've made it harder to call a charge or something. But so I don't know. Some of the calls, but hey, we got the W. they made like every three they took. I mean, same with Oregon, but Houston made every three they took and we won. So props to the guys. Great defense.
I think the only thing I'm nitpicking about is the free throws, right? You talk about
Yeah.
we out numbered them in the amount of free throws we got, but didn't shoot a high percentage,
missed a
18,
lot,
18 and
yeah.
27. Not good, you know. This game could have been a little put to bed a little earlier.
My nitpick would be the offensive rebounds, or
Yeah.
two part, I guess. The main is the offensive rebounds. That was especially true against Oregon, but against both Oregon and Houston. The other was, I think, against both of those teams, we gave up a lot of high percentage shots. They got these like really, easy high percentage, basically layups. And we played really good defense. I was very proud of our defense. I thought I'm glad we sort of still have that identity. We played great defense, but we still gave up a lot of really high percentage shots, I thought, where they just get in for a layup or a close two. And I was like, man, it's amazing this game is competitive because we're giving them easy shots and then we're, taking hard ones. And we also have an offense, I would say, based off of all three games, highs and lows, but I would say that we have scorers and we have defense. So if this is a rebuilding year, if this is a bunch of freshmen that didn't have many minutes, I think I saw something where the returning scorer, the only returning scorer that scored more than 1 point in that game for us against Houston was Bird.
Yeah.
And Houston basically has all of their returning scorers back there. I think they have 80% of their, right? So, I mean, if this is what we can do with some freshmen and sophomores, I mean,
well, and we don't have Reese Waters back.
We don't have Reese, yeah. Do we have any estimate on what, maybe another month or two, or
probably
any idea,
another month? Let's say another month. But
well, let go ahead, Fee, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just think that, the freshmen, though, I mean, the way that they have stepped up, I mean, to Gorville giving us great minutes off the bench. I mean, can we give Gorville some props for that pass to Compton? I mean,
oh man,
heck, dude, he was on his back. How did he? And that, that's the one thing I think Mateo, we saw in Swiss League with that guy is like he was like a magician with the ball and how he would find guys that didn't even look like they were open and he would throw them open. And
court vision. He really does have a good sense of court vision.
Yeah,
great awareness
with him. Yeah. And so that was really, really exciting, that play.
Okay, guys, let's kind of switch things over. Let's answer JB's super chat here because I think it plays into what we're kind of talking, right? And he says, do you guys think the players era earnings, because the tournament was for NIL earnings, do you think that those earnings give us a chance to keep guys like Boyd and Guath next season? Now, Boyd does have an extra year, right? So he's technically does have an extra year, so it's really up to him. Also, thoughts on how Waters gets back in the rotation. So let's take that first part, guys. The players era earnings. Fiend, I know you had a breakdown since the Aztecs finished third in the tournament. What do they take home? Does it go directly to the Mesa Foundation, I believe?
150.
Yeah. So, and it's interesting. I was talking to a guy at the sportsbook who had some association with like an NIL organization that was actually working with the Mesa Foundation to provide, that the payout basically for the, for the tournament. And so I guess, it didn't. I was wondering how they making their money on this. It didn't seem like a lot of people were there. But they've got a lot of Saudi oil money, I guess, that are backing it. And so they really want to get like this event off the, off the floor. So, but yeah, 1 point. So we got $1 million to participate, went to the Mesa Foundation. And then for getting third place, we got the Aztecs got an additional $150,000. So $1.15 million to the Mesa Foundation. Now I have no idea how that gets, distributed to the players and what percentage and cut and whatnot. The great thing about this tournament is that we are committed for another 2 years. So that gives us a huge advantage in my book in the Mountain West going into the Pac-12 for the next 2 years, because I don't know of any other teams in our conference who are playing in these type of events, right? And so that is a lot of extra money that we can get. Now, here's the thing. Is that really going to make a difference compared to what some of these blue bloods, can offer some of these players, I guarantee you that this event caught the eye of a lot of coaches around the country about how good these young players are. And, wouldn't surprise me if Coach Sampson from Houston, got on the phone with Fertitta, their, big booster who can just write endless checks and says, hey, reach out to Magoon's agent or something like that. Like it wouldn't surprise me. So will we keep them? I have no idea. It's a big business now. Can we compete? That's up to us, right? That's up to the fans, the Mesa Foundation. Get out there, contribute as much as you can. Hopefully we can get more like big donors to step up, different partnerships and things like that. But I don't. It remains to be seen. The way that I'm taking it is just 1 year at a time now, because we have no idea if we're going to get them for multiple years.
I can give my 2 cents. I think Fiend's way more well versed in this, but yeah, I think that it gives us a huge edge, sort of within the conference. Current Mountain West and then future Pac-12. But then, like you said, on a national stage, and if you were to compare to Duke or UNC or Kansas or something, right? But we've also, this is what Dutch can recruit, and freshmen and sophomores, and we've had a really good team every year that Dutch has been in charge, and no disservice to Fisher and everything, right? But even then, Dutch was recruiting, and so we, not only with Dutch recruiting, and not only with this little help from NIL, but just everything. I kind of lost my train of thought, but that in combination of San Diego State finally establishing ourselves as a basketball school, and you finally see, I mean, if you look at the AP poll, for example, we had 0 votes, and then now we're ranked, and that wouldn't have happened 5 years ago, I don't think. Yeah, that's not that long ago. It's the Final Four year and everything else, right? And the Flynn year, and so we're really establishing ourselves. And then I don't know if you guys saw the Nick Boyd video from before, but I think a lot of it also was that he loved the culture and he loved, what we are and Dutch and everything, and also the city of San Diego. So I think we really have a unique program in both the city and the coach and everything else. So even though you might have some bajillion-dollar facilities and lots of NIL at Duke or something, I think we at least have something unique there. So I don't know to what extent we can compete with the top dogs in terms of money, but I think we're already doing way better than basically all of the group of 5 and the majority, maybe less money, but the majority of the Power 5, I'd say. So
our peers, we're doing better than our peers.
Yeah, we're doing very well.
Yeah.
So we take every cent that we can get. So I think this will help us.
I like T-Mac's point really quick. He says the other events cost teams, right? You're looking at, he threw out a number there, $400K. I mean, you're talking about travel to Maui. You're talking about travel to Cancun. The women's team went down there. I mean, that does cost into your budget. You got to factor those things in. With state going to Vegas.
It's a drive.
I mean, that's literally right there. So it's such a convenient event for San Diego State that those travel costs are way down. So I can imagine this payoff. Right. Oh boy, glad we're not playing in the ACC conference like Stanford or so it's like for our program, this players era payout, is it gonna be enough guys to keep those guys here, a Boyd and a Guath? I'm not sure. I mean, moving forward, like you said, Fane, this is an every year type of thing, and you have to look at it that ways. One way you could get upset and frustrated. The other way you could say, boy, this is exciting. It's free agency every year. You never know what team you're going to get. But I think what you're seeing is a lot of these teams, they're really dialing in, and they're playing, very, very how do you say, impassioned basketball, because that's leading to direct dollars in your account, whether you're going to play good or not. But if you play good, if you perform as a team or individually, I mean, it's still gonna help your pockets.
There's plenty of examples though of like players, when you throw money at players, that doesn't guarantee you're going to have a great team. I mean, look at USC right now. They are a mess, and they threw a lot of money at some players that we were recruiting, right? And some of those players are not even getting off the bench, So yes, and they might be getting more money, but are they having a great experience in college? are they building tape for their professional career by sitting on the bench? Look at a guy like Mawat Mag, right, from BYU. He doesn't even play for BYU. He gets like maybe 8 minutes a game. He would have been a starter on this team. He would have been a defensive stalwart on this team. But he was offered more money for BYU. And, you know, the other thing was the coaches on BYU, they recruited over him. And so after he committed, that's the one thing I will give credit for Dutcher is when he brings a guy in, he tells him, okay, this is our plan for you. Okay. And, you know, we're not starting from scratch like some of these other coaches are that are coming in fresh, trying to build a roster. We've got some holes to fill, and he sees a vision for these players. And look at a guy like JCJ. You talked to his dad. I talked to his dad. He is absolutely loving it here at San Diego State. He has a great opportunity. Could he have gotten more money elsewhere? Sure. But man, he is absolutely loving being an Aztec this year and playing on this team and the camaraderie that he has with his brothers. I think that means something. And I think that message really needs to get out to future recruits who are looking at San Diego State. Yeah, we may not have the most NIL, but you're going to have a great experience, and we're going to develop you for your professional career.
I think the development is huge. That's a huge aspect because, listen, if you're a player and you want to leave, you want to transfer out, you really have to consider the trust that you're putting into a coach. I mean, you really are trusting a coach with the pathway of your future. Do they see you fitting in, like what you're saying, Fiend? Do you really fit into the equation of what they want to do, or are they stockpiling guys, you know, and then they got you in their pocket? But it's really comes down to that development. That's where the Aztecs are known. They're known, and boy, I'm loving what I'm seeing offensively right now with these young guys. I mean, of course, they're talented. They're playing to their capabilities, and hopefully continue to get the most out of their talents. What you got, Flavor Guy?
Yeah, I got something sort of vaguely related to that. So my secondary team is UCLA, so I was just eating up on Thanksgiving the SC St. Mary's. No, okay. I mean, I root for us when we play them. Don't get me wrong. So I wrote these stats down. St. Mary's got twice as many rebounds, more than twice as many field goals. USC went for 5 minutes without a field goal 3 separate times. They went 0 for 12 on threes, and they made a total of 13 shots.
Oh, yeah, I saw that score.
So that was
tough times for Must Bus in LA. So Must Bus is not going very far right now.
Nope.
Flavor Guy, we'll bring you back in just a second, man. Thanks for joining us, but we'll talk to you in just a sec. Oh, the Must Bus. I forgot about that, man. Forgot about the Must Bus. Guys, want to thank you guys for joining the live stream and of course continuing to show your support. Man, this wouldn't be a Sons of Montezuma podcast without letting you guys know that 20% off is still going right now. 20% off at manscaped.com, guys. Promo code SONS20. We got until the end of this year. Our deal with manscaped.com. We really appreciate them for all the involvement that they've been doing with Sons of Montezuma. It's a San Diego company as well. So right now for Christmas, it's a great time to order those gifts for your loved one, somebody you may know need it. I know K5 James just left for Florida. He's got some more training going on, and shaved his whole face, dude. He looks like a Joe Rogan wannabe, dude. He looks like Jose Rogan. I was busting his balls about that. But yeah, using Manscaped, he's like, dude, looks great. Yeah. 20% off manscaped.com using promo code SONS20. You can get the beard trimmer, you could get all kind of deodorants, lotions, the underwear as I showed you guys last time. Manscaped.com, they got you covered. And join the millions worldwide that trust Manscaped for their grooming needs.
Justin says Manscaped so it doesn't weigh you down like the Must Bus.
Gotta love it. Manscaped.com, guys. Okay. Oh, you know what that is. You guys know what that is. I appreciate it, man. We got some more. I got to do it. I got to do it because it's an achievement. It's an achievement. Oh, well, we didn't talk about Reese Waters coming back into the lineup. I'm gonna be honest with you before we get to JK. Thank you for the super. Reese Waters, those stress fractures are tricky, right? They're tricky. Well, I know. There hasn't been much said from the coaches as far as timetable. It's really just about how quickly he could heal, and the way this team is playing. You know what? One of the things I really appreciate about Reese from the little interaction that I've been able to see online and his pressers and his interviews. Like, I mean, he's super grounded guy. You know, he's very open about his faith and where he puts his trust in. So you really feel confident that you know, whatever decision he decides to make he's going to be okay with it. And if the foot is not healing, or if it is, you know, I think he's going to be okay with whatever situation the coaches put him in, and you know, whatever decision he decides to make. But I don't know. I don't have any inside track information.
Yeah, don't put that out there, man, because people are gonna
I
start
have
wondering if he's not coming back. We don't know that. Like
no, I don't know.
My expectation is he will be back, you know, by the beginning of January at least, and you know, ready to make a run, you know, in the Mountain West. So that's what I'm banking on, is that could it not heal as well as he had hoped, and maybe he has to, you know, take the rest of the year off and, you know, look for a medical red shirt or something like that. I don't know. It's a possibility, but I don't even want to go there. I mean, I'm just looking forward to getting him back eventually. And, you know, really,
I'm just thinking about the positives, man. I mean, if you were to
Yeah.
insert him back in there and have the luxury that we have right now, is like, if you were to insert him back in there, you can take your time, gradually get him in, and, you know, kind of build that confidence back up again, because, you know, after an injury. So it's like,
I mean, you could limit his
absolutely.
minutes for like the first month, you know, just so he's not re-aggravating that injury, and then you know, you know, unleash him in February, you know, in March. So I'm really excited, you know, the prospect that we're doing so well with him out of the lineup right now, and once he returns, then that's gonna just give us even more firepower to work with.
Okay, on to JK's super chat. Thank you again, JK. Hey guys, would you want to see us run and gun against Fresno State or USD? Now, from what I understand, Fresno State, they want to run and gun, right? They want to play fast. They're almost like do I say bulldog fast or something like that?
Like
But yeah,
Coach Hut, you know.
yeah, they're completely switched gears in what they're trying to do with Fresno. Listening to Coach Dutcher's presser today, kind of previewing that game, and listening to Miles Bird, you know, it's something that they feel the game against Gonzaga kind of prepared them for, that style of play that Fresno's gonna run.
Yep.
So maybe maybe that Gonzaga loss, okay, maybe it might end up being a good loss, Fiend. I eat my words. Maybe it might be a good loss because it gave them some practice for Fresno State. Yeah,
I told you.
we needed Gonzaga to give us preparation for Fresno State. But last in the Mountain West, Fresno State. We needed Gonzaga to prepare us for the mighty Bulldogs of the Valley. But no, I don't know if I want to see us run and gun. I just want us to do what we do. You know, keep sharpening up our offense, our sets, or whatever. I saw against Houston was fantastic. You know, some of the different ways the guys got open, some of the different ways that they were able to get the bigs the ball down around the basket was really cool to see. How do you feel about this game, Fresno State?
The big challenge is for a young team coming off a very emotional tournament, you know, where you're riding this high, and now you have to reset for a conference foe on the road, playing them on the road. So, you know, you would expect that more maybe from like a mature team. You know, it's kind of like you have won, you know, the first two games at home in a you know, in a playoff series, and now you got to go on the road, right? And like, how do you reset for that? How do you get focused mentally? You only got like 1 or 2 days to prepare for it, right? They had a lot more time. They had a week off to prepare for those teams in the tournament. So, now that's the challenge, is resetting, and so you don't have a regression and possibly an upset. You don't want to see that happen. So that is really the challenge with the young group of team. I think they'll do fine because they have great leadership and our coaches who will probably told them, hey, let's enjoy this game Saturday into Sunday, and then we're going to refocus on, when we come back to work on Monday and get ready for, a brand new Fresno State team that's going to look so much different than what we've been playing in the past.
I'm not going to give a score prediction, but I think we're going to win. I think Thing.
I think so too. I mean, I Fresno up tempo. We're really good at getting back on defense and limiting like transition buckets. So I think our defense is going to be really tough, for them to score on.
All right, T-Mac, thank you so much once again. So, like I said, man, sorry I didn't get to link up out there. He says, I believe if every fan donated at least some amount to NIL, then we can provide decent compensation for the team. And I'm sure he's talking about Mesa Foundation. Of course, they handle the men's and the women's team. The women's team is on a tear right now. So that's something to consider as well. Just keep that in mind. The Mesa Foundation does cover both men's and women's teams. So
tax season's coming up, you're going to get a refund. If you're going to get a refund, maybe consider providing a donation to the to the Mesa Foundation, or kicking in something to our guy Miles Bird, and our the players that we have signed to NIL deals. I mean, every little bit helps. And I totally agree. If we all collectively, this is we're not in the era where we don't have a vested interest as far as financially in this program. We absolutely do, and we can influence the future of our program, by giving to them and contributing. And so, I just encourage, I don't want to be a dead horse here, but, we all know what we need to do and what we're up against,
And like you said, at Sons of Montezuma, we try to do our part in our own way. And right now, the Miles Bird collection is official at sonsofmontezuma.com. We got hats, we got different shirts, different styles are coming out every single week. Right now is a good time to buy for your holiday shopping at sonsofmontezuma.com. Miles Bird, we got Bird Gang, the Bird Gang shirt.
I gotta
got the wings on the back. Of course, the high flying above the rim action video game that is Miles Bird. Some nice little styles come out, guys. So definitely support the NIL shop we have, doing our part. And it's a little, we got our work cut out for us, San Diego State. But I'm confident, like T-Mac says, if everybody contributes a little something, just a little bit, it's gonna make it's gonna make a big difference in the long run. And man, the women's team, I can't underscore that enough, man. To have both programs excelling right now, and there's no doubt, I think Mesa Foundation contributions have really helped the women's team. So that's really cool.
Mesa Foundation is doing an excellent job, and with both programs, and just got to keep it up, and keep moving up, man, and funding our program. That's what we need to do.
Thank you guys for the encouragement on that. Really quick, also, before we start winding things down, it's been an amazing week, tiring week. I know Fiend's he's probably running out of gas right now, right? Can't stop him. Only hope to contain him. To Wednesday, guys, the Fresno State game, Aztecs versus Fresno State. If you are here locally in San Diego and you want a place to go watch the game, I want to invite you personally down to McGregor's Grill down there. It's right up there off of Mission Gorge area, next to Snapdragon Stadium. It's not far. It's a landmark in San Diego, right? We're going to be having a watch party down there. Actually, the Aztec Warrior Foundation. I'll put the website there in the chat for you guys to check it out. AztecWarriorFoundation.com. You can learn more about how this group, spearheaded literally by Carlos and the former Aztec Warrior, he has got a group there together, and we know him very well. They're trying to get that Warrior back, right? But if they don't, they're offering a scholarship to the next generation of Aztec Warriors. So, anyways, they're hosting the watch party, San Diego State versus Fresno State. I believe tip-off time is 7:30 Wednesday night down there at McGregor's. So stop on by. It's a great spot. That's a landmark. We've done our interviews with Carlos down there before, and just want to invite all you guys down there to check it out. Watch the Aztecs hopefully run the Bulldogs up and down the court. And yeah, be great to see you guys. Fiend. Oh boy, this chat's still going. Who do we think?
Oh, go ahead.
No, what was that?
No. T-Mac asked, I heard Fiend was sad about UConn. Is that just a rumor? Yeah, that's just a rumor flying around. I am not sad about UConn at all. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, boy.
Polls, right?
What's that?
Below us in the polls, which is nice for a change.
Below us in the polls. I tell you, Flavor Guy had something. I just put him on there unexpectedly because he wanted to talk some poll action. Fiend, when it comes to these polls, as we wrap things up, I mean, we're talking the AP polls got us at 24.
Yep.
Now, that's a head scratcher because the AP polls usually always behind the curve. They're never. It's so subjective. No, these guys hardly ever watch opposing teams. They watch their team in their market, unless they're a national guy, right? I mean, it's just so sketchy sometimes, the writers. But they got us at 24. And I think being in that players era, tournament really gave us that spotlight to, hey, we got these big wins, put us up there. But then now the net. Now you're a big metrics guy with the net. 60, dude. 60 with the toughest
I was gonna say
schedule at this point.
I think that it's a little early in the season, but I was gonna say I got the net up here at 60. Just to touch on the AP poll though, there was that one guy, Eric Newman, that has UConn at 10. And I'd say, okay, by the way, he's not ranking us. He's not ranking Oregon. And he's got like Indiana ranked. I'm just saying UConn at 10. He dropped them, so he must have known there was a reason to drop him. He must have been awake, but I don't know. But anyway, as for the net, let me pull that up. I just had a few things I wanted to mention on that. I've got like a million tabs here. Sorry.
Everybody's slamming on the net. Everybody's slamming on the net. I thought the net was gospel, Fiend. I thought the net was gospel.
I think maybe it's too early. I don't really understand it. Like, I mean, the fact that Ohio State is 16th, no, 18th in the net, and we are number 60, I think. What is Ohio State? I can't even find them on here. They're 12th. They're 12th, and we're 60. I mean, there's got to be a heavily weighted,
I think it really weighs wins, especially this early.
But their wins aren't nearly as good as ours.
Yeah, but we have 2 losses. We're 4-2 or whatever.
No, but they do too.
Are they 4-2 also?
Yeah, they have worse losses than we do.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, there's like a heavily weighted Micah Parrish effect variable built into the net, where any team that he's played for, they get downgraded, and the team that he's currently playing for gets a boost. That's the only way I can see that. No, actually, I think what it does is like I think I was hinting at it before, and if you guys get a chance to check out, I don't know if you're on like the Facebook fan page, but Ken Licati, I talked to him in Vegas. Really good guy, really knowledgeable about all of these metrics and everything. He has a really good post on the metrics and why we're not like higher than we should be. And a lot of it is because we're not high in like these predictive metrics. And so teams like Ohio State they're really high in effective field goal percentage and effective field goal defense percentage. There's 4 factors that are, sort of predictive of winning, and they're really high in those. And so I think the net is more of a predictive measure, whereas there's other I think Ken talks about it in the post. There's like a wins above bubble. It's kind of like a war in wins above replacement in baseball. That really is a metric for what you've done. Okay, and we're like really high, I think, in that metric, but we're low in the predictive ones because they just don't think we're going to continue to win the way we've been winning.
Should highlight the comment from Utah State. But yeah, I think because it's the quadrant system, right? And I mean, it could be fifths or sixths or tenths or hundredths or whatever, but it's made to be a really transparent, simple metric. So you know this is what it is, this is what it isn't. We just have a simple formula that we're not like, oh, it's this magical black box nobody knows. Why is this team above this? So it's meant to be sort of simple, but the sad thing is though that it matters, and it's a decent metric later in the year, but that it matters a lot for March Madness. That's why we talk about it. So I'd say, yeah, we don't care. We'll give it a few months before we care. But if you wanted to look at Dayton at 40 and UConn at 39, by the way, Boise at 38 and Utah State was up there at 14.
And a lot of those teams have played more games than we have. We've only played.
Yeah, we barely played any.
6 games,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them have already played 8. So I think maybe that has something to do with it.
Schedule must be through the roof.
Our net strength of schedule is number 1.
Wow. I said I didn't know that.
Number 1 in the country.
Give it a rest, bro.
All right, no more net talk. No more net. None of this computer talk. I'm with Dutcher. He's like, I'm not great at math. I don't. Everybody says, Ken Palm. Well, better.
Give it a few months on the net.
Yeah, net stands for not even true. I love it.
Beats the AP poll. They both suck.
Yeah, I don't know about the coaches either. They have us at 27 from what everybody's saying in the chat. 27. I mean, after seeing this team, as young as they are, as different as everybody is coming together, right? There was a lot of unknown variables to this team, and they're putting it together right before our eyes. So, hey, if that's not coaching, I don't know what is. These coaches polls got to get together.
We've had a great month. We had a great month in November. Now it's going to be about consistency, right? And carrying that forward into December, and hopefully we run the table in December into our conference schedule, which I can't wait for my article to drop.
Oh, this is true. This is true. Conference, Mountain West Conference.
We're not going to reveal it now, but
I mean, Fresno, should we reveal it? I don't think we should reveal it for Fresno. Nah, not till we get to the thick of the Mountain West.
There we go.
Guys, want to thank you all for joining. We're kind of running towards a little over that 1 hour mark, so we want to let you get back to your family, get back to whatever you're doing tonight. But we thank you guys for joining. Tomorrow night, I'm going to attempt to talk some football.
Ouch.
Gonna attempt to talk some football, guys. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded about football, and now that the year is done, we can take the gloves off, right? The honeymoon is over. Now we can kind of assess for ourselves a complete year 1 in the Sean Lewis era, and I'm gonna have a guest joining me tomorrow, all the way from the East Coast. He's a Aztec for life, and he's a writer that some of us may know. Ted McGovern, he's going to join me all the way from the East Coast. I believe he's up in upstate New York or something like that. New York or something like that. I don't think they talk that way in upstate. But anyways, hopefully you guys could join us tomorrow night, Tuesday night, talk some Aztec football and just kind of set the record straight on what we think with this new Sean Lewis era, and hopefully things moving forward, because recruiting starts like now. It's been starting. It never ends, but all that stuff is starting. Guys, Aztec flavor guy, I gotta get you some theme music, man. I gotta get you some theme music. SD Sports Fiend, appreciate you and all your travels, all the energy you put out there. I know the fans appreciate it. I see it every single time we gather, dude. They appreciate what you guys do. Of course, flavor guy, can't wait to see you back down there at the show, stomping on those aluminum bleachers and all that good stuff. And all you guys, try to join us tomorrow night for football. Try to join us in person Wednesday night at McGregor's. Come watch the game with us, Aztecs basketball. and hopefully another win. Hopefully another win. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. On behalf of these guys and Mike Tortolot. Mike could not make it with us. He's doing some traveling, hopefully, and well, a little shout out for Mike. Thank you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next time. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.
Flavor guy, you need to get a bird outfit for the
Oh,
show. That would be awesome.
that would be cool. Check Amazon or something.
See ya.